guys, and welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from the Heart. And today's reading is for the zodiac sign of Cancer. And Cancer, this is your February 2015 month ahead general forecast. So Cancerians, your reading is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I really feel that this reading is very much focused on the home. It's very much focused on your personal relationships. We have a running theme, I think, through this, that there is kind of some healing going on here for some of you guys in February, even going on from now, and kind of some form of reconciliation potentially for some of you guys, some kind of putting the maybe difficulties that you've had in your personal relationships or your love relationships to bed, and sort of starting over again and starting with this kind of renewed love and passion and that type of thing in your relationships. I don't see any separations here. All I see is that there is a coming together of something for some of you guys, okay? So what I'm thinking primarily is love relationships. But it could be in anything. As I say, you can apply the readings, tarot readings, to any area of your life if they fit. So the first two cards I'd like to show you are, for February Cancer, the Sun and the Four of Wands. I mean, these are really two very, very beautiful cards. The Sun is very much a card about happiness. If you look at this card, it's got a child sitting on a horse. It's very much about kind of this kind of warmth and glowiness over your situation. It's kind of this renewed optimism with the Sun card. It's a very, very positive card. It's the card that sort of says, you know, everything's going to be okay. It's a lovely card to get. And then we've got the Four of Wands, which really signifies, because it's a number 4 as well, it always sort of signifies stability. It's kind of like a very much a sort of grounded energy, if you see where I'm coming from. And if you look at this card, there's two people here, and it's almost like they have, they're being blessed by something. They have a really nice kind of setting there. It's very much, to me, signifies unity, marriage, commitment, the coming together of people. Of two people. And in the background there's kind of this party scene going on in this beautiful castle. You know, if you look at both cards, they both have the colour yellow in them. There's a very much a warmth around both of these cards, very much stability around these cards. So I think for some of you Cancerians in the month of February, that there is going to be a lot of stability there going on, okay? There is going to be this structure that is quite solid going on for some of you guys. And I think that it comes from a renewed sense, as I've said, of optimism within your home life, within your personal relationships, with your children, if you have children. I think there's going to be just a really nice kind of abundant, happy feeling going on. I think there's going to be a sense of feeling kind of grounded where you are, a sense of feeling that everything is coming together within your relationship. This is definitely the feeling that I'm getting from these cards. Both settings are so happy. Both settings are just so happy. The Sun is really sort of just spreading its rays over the Sun card, you know. I love those two cards. Sorry, I'm just sitting here staring at them because the sense and the energy that I get from this card is that there is a lot of happiness going on for some of you guys. This renewed vigour within your relationships. And I certainly think potentially for some of you guys, if you've got children, there's going to be happiness in the home around them as well. We then have the Four of Swords and the Star card. The Four of Swords is really kind of a card about kind of coming back from it can be kind of like taking a rest from obstacles that you've had in your life, you know. There's this sense of feeling that you can now relax, you know. There's a sense of feeling that you can kind of lay down your arms and really sort of just sort of chill out, you know. That you can kind of just feel a little bit more passive now, a little bit more kind of like you don't need to worry so much. And along with the Star card, because both cards are cards about healing as well. The Star card is very much about feeling an inner confidence, self-confidence. It's about feeling at one with the universe. It's about feeling that the universe is kind of guiding you. It's kind of looking after you. It's really kind of guiding your way, you know. It's about wishes being fulfilled. Feeling that things are being manifested in your life through the universe. Whenever I see a star, certainly I tend to close my eyes and make a wish. I saw the most beautiful star the other day in the sky. The Star card is also about healing along with the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is about healing, recuperation, rejuvenating your batteries, you know, after maybe having some sort of a trial, you know, taking time out and being able to kind of be alone, contemplation, all that good stuff. It's about kind of having a little bit of you time as well. So I think in conjunction with the first two cards, what we're looking at here is a situation potentially for some of you guys where your relationship is really quite good at the moment for some of you guys, potentially in February. Maybe after a period of distress or, you know, feeling uneven in your relationship, we're finding now that there is healing in these relationships going on, potentially, with the Four of Swords and the Star. Both of these things, in terms of things like healing, say the same thing. You're being healed after a particular trial. So I think that within February there's going to be a sense of healing for some of you guys within your personal relationships. And it's going to feel really good. Potentially you're going to be feeling at one with your partner, at one with your home life. Blessed. Happy. Things are back on an even keel again, potentially. We then have, interestingly enough, the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Wands. Now, Cancer is a water sign, okay? So, within the water sign, we find obviously Cancer and Pisces and Scorpio. The Queen of Pentacles is Earth, and the Pentacle suit is Earth, and the Wands are a fire sign. So potentially for some of you guys, these two cards, since they're side to side, they could represent, I guess, I mean, I don't usually kind of always go for, you know, Pentacles, if you're a Queen of Pentacles and it represents maybe a mature woman who is, you know, an Earth sign, and King of Wands represents, you know, a guy from maybe 18 upwards who is a fire sign, you know, a Leo or a Sagittarius or an Aries, or a Taurus or a Virgo or a Capricorn for a queen. But if we were to talk traditionally, potentially maybe one of these guys is your partner, you know, and they're giving you support. Maybe you represent one of these people. The energies. The Queen of Pentacles as an energy is very much, she's very much in charge of her home, you know. She's a mother. And she's very authoritative, you know. She's all about her business, okay. You usually find this type of woman, the Queen of Pentacles, maybe as in finance, in a bank, you know, or an accountant, or, you know, she's maybe head of an organisation, something like that, or head of something within an organisation, usually financial. She's very kind of like a very independent career type woman, but yet she has a home and she kind of runs things very much in tandem, you know. She's all about the details. She's all about kind of having everything in its rightful place, and she runs it very well, very, very well. And the King of Wands is very much an entrepreneur, you know. He's very, you know, he wouldn't usually work for someone else. He'd usually work for himself, and he's all about ideas and creativity, you know, and he's all about kind of putting his ideas out there. So potentially for some of you guys, maybe one of these cards represents the partner that you're with, or the energy of one of these cards is who you are as a person. Maybe you are the Queen of Pentacles, maybe you are the King of Wands, and then whichever one this is represents the partner that you're with. In another way we could look at this is that, for example, you're going to be feeling very home loving. You're going to be feeling very nurturing in February. And this would certainly tie in with what we're seeing with the first 4 cards, where there is a lot of healing going on, a lot of kind of reconciliation, a lot of happiness. Feeling that, you know, that sense of optimism for your relationship potentially in February. You know, feeling quite stable, feeling that the structures are quite even now with the 4 of Wands. You know, feeling that everything's kind of like nice and sturdy. And then with the King of Wands, we could be looking at a situation where you're feeling, you know, I don't know, you're feeling really confident about your relationship, as well as feeling that you're feeling quite nurturing, quite home loving, quite happy in your personal life. You're also feeling quite confident about it. You're feeling quite, you know, psychologically balanced about your relationship. So it could be either way, really, I suppose. But what to me is most interesting about this reading for you guys is the final 2 cards. And the final 2 cards are the Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. Now, when I first saw these cards, to me they kind of screamed out, and even though traditionally you probably, I mean, you could put these cards together in terms of pregnancy. Because if you look at the Ace of Wands is all about kind of the starting off a new idea. It's the creative process. It's the kind of a new beginning in terms of maybe, you know, thinking about a project that you want to get out there. Potentially a creative project, work related that you're looking to get out there. It's the sort of the essence of the idea. It's the kind of the manifestation of it within the brain and getting it out there. It's the, you know, taking the energy to get it out there. The aces always signify new beginnings, but then so do the pages. Okay, the pages are really the messengers, but they're also about kind of making an effort in trying to get something out there. So potentially it could be that there's some idea that some of you guys are thinking about with the Ace of Wands that leads to a money-making situation with the Page of Pentacles. The Ace of Wands are all about your career and your work and the energy and the ideas that go into that. And the Pentacles are always about money, the materialism, and getting stuff out into the material world, stuff that kind of comes back to us, the rewards that we get from the work that we do. So potentially for some of you guys in February, it could be a case of that there's an idea that you have. It's a new beginning of an idea. It's a new beginning of something in terms of your work endeavour, creative endeavour, career. But there's effort that you're putting into it to kind of manifest it and bring it into the material world with the Page of Pentacles. And the more effort that you put into it, the more reward you get back. But also, if I were to look at it sort of as a storyboard with the first 6 cards, where we have with the 4 of Wands and the Sun card, a really sort of happy, stable structure going on, whether that be in your home life. I'm thinking it's personal and home life, but it could be anything. But if we were to go with my hypothetical idea that potentially for some of you guys there's stability going on within the home and happiness. The sun is shining its beautiful warm rays over your happy home. You know, that reinforces that stability that comes with the 4 of Wands. And potentially there's children involved there, or you're thinking of children. And then we've got a healing with the 4 of Swords and the Star card. You know, a time that you can put down your arms now from battle, from obstacles. And there's healing going on in your relationship now. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Wands, where there is very much nurturing within the home. That fits in with the 4 of Wands and the Sun card. Very much this home-loving kind of warm, secure environment that goes on within the home. And you're really being the nurturer with your children if you have them. And then there's that confidence that comes in with the King of Wands. But then on the other hand, if we're looking at it fitting in with the whole thing, potentially you could be the Queen of Pentacles, have the essence of that character, or the essence of the King of Wands. And then whoever these characters are, the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Wands, they could potentially be your partner. So there's, you know, this reconciliation, this coming together. Or potentially some of you guys are looking for these traits in people that you want to come into your life. And then we finish up with these 2 cards, which potentially could be talking about what I think is an idea of pregnancy, potentially, with some of you guys in February, okay? The Ace of Wands, if you look at the wand here, it looks very phallic. It's very much a masculine energy. And masculine energy really does sort of lead to pregnancy. This certainly looks like a masculine energy to me. This wand looks like a, you know, it looks like a phallic instrument, basically, if you get my meaning. And I think that, you know, if I looked at this card with the masculine energy, this is also a card about good news coming in also. So maybe for some of you guys, we also have the Page of Pentacles, and pages we know also represent children. So potentially there's an idea of pregnancy for some of you guys, an idea of maybe as a couple you wanting to get pregnant, you wanting to have children. Potentially some of you already are pregnant, who knows. Traditionally, you know, if I was to look at maybe the Ace of Wands with the Empress card, I'd say potentially that some of you are already pregnant, or there's news of a pregnancy coming in potentially. But when I look at these two cards, it kind of, my intuition kind of said something along the lines of pregnancy. There's a happy home happening here. There's reconciliation going on here. There's healing of wounds going on here. There's a couple of characters in the centre here that look like they've come back together again potentially. And maybe in that coming back together for some of you guys, there is the idea of pregnancy. How can we make our relationship far more stable and far more loving? You know, how can we express our love even more? Maybe we go ahead and have more children or a child together, you know. And when I looked at these cards, because obviously this is my own thing as well, intuition and just the feeling I had. You know, if we matched up the Ace of Wands with the King of Wands potentially, both of these are masculine energies, you know. So the King of Wands is the kind of the entrepreneur, the creator of something. He's all about his own business. He has the idea with the Ace of Wands. Okay, so he plants the seed. And then the Queen of Wands nurtures it with the Page of Pentacles, the child. So the seed implanted into the Queen of Pentacles leads to the Page of Pentacles. That's my own thing. That's my own sort of thought process here. You know. King of Wands plants the seed with the Ace of Wands. The Queen of Pentacles nurtures that seed. She's home loving. She's a nurturer. She nurtures her children. And here we have the birth. The Page of Pentacles, the child. So potentially I think for some of you guys, when I look at these cards, this reading has many meanings to me. To me, it's certainly saying there's a new beginning with you guys in February with something or other. You know, there's the reconciliation potentially for some of you guys who have been through some obstacles. There's healing going on. There's a happy home life potentially going on in February for some of you Cancerians. But there's also an idea that's coming through that needs nurturing. Okay? There's an idea that's being formulated. And it needs to be brought to fruition. And with effort there's reward. So whether that's you guys thinking about maybe having a baby or another child, or whether that's you guys thinking about a work career idea that you want to bring to fruition and the rewards are there with the Page of Pentacles as long as you put the effort in. I think that the general ethos of this reading is that there is happiness there. And there is happiness at some reconciliation going on, at putting your demons to bed, at overcoming obstacles that potentially were there in 2014 and starting afresh in January, February 2015. And from that there's the kind of building up of that relationship in whichever way that comes. So this doesn't have to just relate to, as I say, these readings are general so they can relate to any area of your life. But potentially I think predominantly for some of you Cancerians it is love, and it is a relationship, and it is a sort of a rebonding of something going on. There's a rebonding here for me when I look at these cards. And through that rebonding, you're looking at how much more you can grow your relationship, how much more you can kind of express your love to each other through that. And there is a seed planted, and you want to grow it. And even though we don't have something like the Seven of Pentacles here, which looks at, you know, firm foundations and how much more you can grow something, we do have cards to me that suggest that you're looking to grow something even further. Whether that be in your love relationship or be anything else. There's a sense of wanting to grow something even further here. That is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful reading, I think, Cancer, for the month of February. And, you know, just leave your comments below and let me know how this relates to you and if it does resonate with you, because I think it's very, very interesting and beautiful. And I see within these cards that for February, Cancer, that this is going to be a really nice month for some of you guys, potentially. Really nice month. So that's your reading, guys, for the month of February 2015. I'd like to say thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on your next reading, and have a great day. Take care.